Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the fifth Sunday after Pentecost, and we're looking at the gospel lesson, Matthew chapter 11, and with various verses. And I'm actually not looking at the entire gospel lesson because there's stuff there that I wouldn't touch on a regular sermon, maybe, but not in a children's sermon. I'm focusing down on one verse, and that's verse 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. And I had a deep yearning that to just tell everyone that we have a God that when we are tired and we are weary and we've got stuff going on, that we can just lay it down. And some of this is you got to be careful because it's getting a little heady. So the two directions I was thinking about. One is it's summertime, so there's a lot of water toys. There's a lot of things you can play with, and it's refreshing in a way of rejuvenating and just having fun. And there's that sense that when we can play together, it is a gift beyond gifts that we can bring people in. And one of the items I was looking for, which the Dollar Tree doesn't have yet, but they usually have the spray bottles that has the fan where you spray it and it mists you. When it's really hot and you get the sense of being of refreshing. And I love this image that when that in the presence of God, and maybe it's the water image of baptism, that when we claim our baptism, we can be refreshed in the faith. And again, it gets a little bit of a pull for a children's sermon, but I think you can work it. So that's one direction I was thinking about going. The second direction, which is probably where I'll end up, has to do with either a favorite pillow or a favorite blanket. And the Dollar Tree has, some of the stuffed animals and things like that you could get and use. But if you have either a story of a favorite blanket, a favorite pillow, I had a favorite pillowcase that I used up to the point that I got I think I used it up to the point that Peter, my son, was born, and it was to the point that it was so, it was ripped, and I had to almost wrap it around a pillow. This thing was great, but it helped me rest, it helped me sleep, and it gave me something to hold on to. And I was thinking about all of the blankets and the pillows and the stuffed animals that help your kids sleep and help your kids rest, and that in that can be still that sense of when we hold on to that our God says, I'm giving you, come to me, and all the stuff that you're holding on, you can let go, thinking about this, it's springboard stuff. But along with this, there's a lot of stuff that's working in my head today. The other thing I was thinking about is how it's hard to rest sometimes. When God says, we've got all this stuff, come to me, you who are tired and weary, and lay your burdens down, the stuff that you're carrying, and I will give you rest. Well, you know what? When I'm honest, there's days I don't like to rest. I don't like to admit that I have to drop the stuff. I don't like to say, I can't handle this. Now, for a kid, you can tie it into actually resting, taking a nap. My daughter, when she would take a nap as a kid, especially as a younger kid who couldn't really talk but scream, I would hold her as she would cry. And, that whole thing of crying yourself to sleep, it was just, she was so tired. And then, it was painful. And I was just thinking about how hard it is sometimes to just lay the stuff down. And God says, you don't have to carry it all. You can lay it down. And we could talk about how we have a hard time taking naps. And sometimes it's hard to admit that I need help. Sometimes it's hard to admit that it's hard to say, you know what, I can't do this. Especially, one of those phrases that gets used sometimes, you're not the boss of me. And sometimes it's hard to say, okay, God, I need you to be the boss of me. So these are some directions. There's springboards, but I'm really being drawn to that favorite blanket and about how hard it is sometimes to rest. Dennis Leary, in his stand-up, says, has a whole thing on racism, and he says, he goes, I believe that racism is learned. And he says, the reason I believe this is that I have a 2-year-old, and the thing that he hates is naps. End of list. And I think about that, about my kids, that at that age, the one thing they did not like, the one thing they hated was naps. And so how hard it is to rest, because we know we're going to miss out on something. Anyway, all kinds of directions we can take. I hope you can pull some thread from this specific Dollar Store Children's Sermon and find your own springboard for your children's sermon. Thanks for stopping by, and as always, I hope you have a fantastic week.